Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, today we're looking at a machine that really pushes a specific military design idea to its absolute limit. It's that whole question. Can just raw, overwhelming power make up for, well, some pretty fundamental compromises?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
We are digging into the sources on the FAZZ, that's the Full Armor Double Zeta, codename FA0100A, a high firepower mobile suit.
Right.
And this unit, it promises, like, the firepower of a warship on legs, but there's some serious fine print involved.
There really is. It's almost a contradiction in terms wrapped up in, 90-something tons of metal.
Exactly. So where do we start? Its origins.
Yeah, let's set the stage. You have to understand where it comes from. The FAZ is derived from the classic Gundam Double Zeta.
The Theta Gundam, Anaheim Electronics.
That's the one. And the Double Zeta was famous, really famous, for its complex transformation, breaking down, reforming into the G-Fortress mode.
Which is the very first thing the FAZ gets rid of.
Right out the window.
They just toss all that complicated, probably vulnerable transformation gear. The whole point of the FAZZ, the design mandate, was just laser focus.
Yeah.
Maximum firepower, maximum armor. And they did that by just, bolting on extra stuff. Layers and layers of it.
And that right there is the core trade-off. You really need to grasp this. The transformation. Gone.
No G-Fortress.
No G-Fortress for the FAZZ. It gives up that versatility, that ability to, adapt on the fly, all for sheer brute force.
Yeah.
Bulk, frontal protection. It's not a multi-role machine at all. It's basically a mobile siege weapon.
Okay, let's talk about that bulk then, because the specs, when you list them out, you realize Anaheim was not kidding around here.
Not at all.
This thing is huge. We're talking 22.11 meters tall overall, head height just under 20 meters.
Which is big, definitely imposing.
But honestly, the height isn't even the craziest part.
No, not even close. The weight figures, that's where you see the real impact of this full armor idea.
Okay, lay it on us.
So the base dry weight is 45.4 tons, which is already, a pretty hefty machine.
Yeah, respectable.
But then you add the full armor package. The extra plates, the massive guns, the bigger fuel tanks. The fully equipped weight shoots up to 94.6 tons. It nearly doubles the mass.
Wow. 94.6. Almost 100 tons. Just try to picture that. A pilot trying to maneuver that in space in 3 dimensions.
It's staggering.
It's like taking a normal mobile suit and just, welding another smaller one onto it, but just made of armor and guns.
Right. It completely changes how you'd have to operate it. That kind of mass needs a totally different doctrine.
And it must demand insane amounts of power just to, move it all.
Astronomical power. Not just for shuffling around, but for actual high-speed combat maneuvering. With almost 100 tons fighting you every step of the way, inertia is a killer.
So the engine room had to be beefed up significantly.
Oh, absolutely. They had to compensate.
And the specs show they did power generator output, 870 kilowatts.
8,070. That's a huge number.
And it's not just for show. You need that just to keep the systems running, let alone power up the weapons we're about to get into.
And the thrusters needed to push that mass. Equally, maybe desperately, powerful.
What are we looking at?
4 main thrusters, each putting out 22,100 kilograms of thrust.
Okay.
Plus 2 more INA, auxiliary ones at 15,200 kilos each. You need that kind of raw push just to make it react reasonably.
And managed by 22 attitude control verniers. That's a lot of little jets just trying to keep this brick stable while it's moving.
Exactly. Keeping the mountain pointed the right way. And think about the sensors needed to manage all that.
Range.
16,200 meters. 16,200. It needed to see far ahead. This whole unit was engineered to be a dense, fast-moving, relatively fast, high payload delivery system.
The engineering focus seems clear then? Just throw raw power at the weight problem until it moves fast enough.
Pretty much. But the big question remains, why accept that massive weight penalty in the first place?
The arsenal. It has to be the arsenal.
Bingo. All that power is feeding something big.
Okay, so we've got the bulk down. Let's talk about why it's so bulky, why it earned that mobile fortress's reputation. The guns, segment 2, firepower.
All right.
So beyond the basics, like the head Vulcans, the 2 60mm ones.
Standard defensive stuff.
Right. You've got those 2 big beam cannons on the back. Each one puts out 12 megawatts.
Which is respectable. Good firepower can hurt most standard mobile suits, maybe punch through some light cruiser armor.
But they're just the opening act, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Appetizers. The main course, the whole reason the FAZZ exists, really.
Yeah.
It's the hyper mega cannon.
That's the weapon that defines this thing.
Absolutely. This enormous weapon system, it's mounted on the back, and the output is just almost hard to believe.
Yeah.
79.8 megawatts.
So 79.8 megawatts. Wow, that's not mobile suit scale anymore. That's something else entirely.
Exactly, because it's not really a mobile suit weapon, not in the traditional sense. The sources actually classify it.
Ow.
They put the hyper mega cannon in the same output class as a cruiser-mounted beam cannon.
A warship's main gun.
Essentially, yes. The sustained destructive power of a capital ship's primary weapon, but strapped onto a mobile, if very heavy, platform.
So the idea wasn't dogfighting.
No way. The FAZZ wasn't meant to tangle with other mobile suits primarily. It was designed to crack fortifications, maybe obliterate a capital ship in one, maybe two shots.
Okay, but here's where it gets really, really interesting for me. Because when you build something that powerful, you often expose some weird weaknesses, right? You've engineered this incredible punch, but what did it cost operationally?
Right.
Because this sounds like the ultimate weapon, but the sources are super clear. The FAZZ wasn't like a finished product.
No, not at all. It was basically an incomplete test bed.
A test bed deployed in the field.
This is the absolute key thing you need to remember about the FAZZ. It was R&D, a platform to test the full armor concept for future suits. Specifically, could you even mount and power a cruiser-class weapon on an MS frame?
So its deployment was about evaluation.
Entirely. It wasn't meant for large-scale combat duty. It was about gathering data.
Okay, wait. So they put this potentially ship-killing cannon on it, but then they also included a major piece of equipment, something that looks really intimidating, that was just fake. The sources say the belt-mounted megaparticle cannon, it just doesn't work. It's just a mock-up.
That's correct. Explicitly stated as non-functional. A dummy weapon.
Wow. Okay, that adds layers.
It does. It's maybe a bit of engineered deception, made the enemy worry about another weapon.
Or maybe draw fire to the fake part.
Possibly. But think about the risk for the pilot. They know they have an incomplete machine.
Yeah, if you instinctively reach for a weapon that isn't there in a panic.
Or if the enemy figures out it's a dummy, suddenly it's just dead weight and a vulnerability. A huge one.
It totally changes the tactical thinking. You can maybe vaporize a battleship, but you've got literal holes in your capabilities.
Really underscores that data collection tool aspect over optimized combat unit.
Okay, what about the armor itself? The full armor part. It's heavy, but is it good?
Well, that's another fascinating compromise. The armor itself, it's described as a high-performance type of Gundam composite.
Gundam composite. That's generally top-tier stuff, isn't it? Why wouldn't that be enough for a full armor design?
It is high performance, yes. It can take a beating, but, and this is telling, even this super thick layered armor package was considered a step down from other advanced units at the time.
A step down? Compared to what?
Specifically, the sources compare it unfavorably to units like the Superior Gundam.
Okay, put that in context. What does step below Superior Gundam mean practically, like in a fight?
It means the FAZ's armor is like, well, think of a really heavily armored tank. It's designed to absorb hits through sheer thickness, lots of it.
Okay.
But the Superior Gundam, that represented the bleeding edge. We're talking potentially more advanced materials, reactive systems, better sensor integration, maybe even psychoframe elements depending on the variant.
So more sophisticated defenses, not just bulk.
Exactly. The FAZZ had the bulk, but it lacked those truly cutting-edge defensive technologies that were being fielded or tested elsewhere.
So the FAZZ gives up mobility, uses heavy but maybe not invincible plating, and banks everything on that one massive gun.
The 79.8 megawatt hyper mega cannon. That's the gamble.
Oh yeah, just for the detail-oriented folks listening. There's apparently a small visual difference too. The head unit is slightly different from the original double Zetas.
Right. Again, just reinforces that this was a modified, specialized test unit. Everything about it points towards prototype testing, data gathering.
So knowing all this, the immense weight, the fake cannon, the maybe not quite top-tier armor, how on earth did they actually use this thing?
Okay, let's shift gears to operational context. The sources, particularly the Gundam Sentinel novel, give us some clues.
Right, because even with all these issues, they did deploy it. It was valuable enough for something.
Yes, but the deployment was very specific, very limited, which makes sense for a prototype.
How limited?
We know only 3 FAZZ units were ever assigned, just 3. And they were attached to Task Force Alpha, specifically to their flagship, the Pegasus 3.
Only 3 units. That screams special purpose weapon, not your everyday grunt suit.
Definitely not. You wouldn't use these for general patrols or standard frontline duty.
Given the weight and that main gun, you'd use them for, what, long-range bombardment? Anti-ship work almost exclusively?
That seems the most logical role, yes. Mobile, heavy artillery, basically. The standoff attacks against major targets.
You risk this huge, maybe flawed machine.
But the potential reward is taking out an enemy command ship instantly. High risk, high reward.
But with only 3. There's zero redundancy, is there?
Pretty much none. If one of those hyper-mega cannons malfunctions or gets damaged, or if the enemy does target the fake cannon successfully.
That's a third of your specialized firepower gone, just like that.
Instantly. It puts incredible pressure on those 3 pilots. They have to execute perfectly, knowing their machines are this weird mix of overwhelming strength and built-in weaknesses.
It really shows how far the military, or maybe Anaheim, was willing to push the firepower envelope, even if it meant sending out tech that wasn't quite finished.
Yeah, the FAZZ is definitely an extreme example. That focus on firepower and armor, deliberately sacrificing versatility by ditching the transformation. But ultimately, it was held back by being incomplete. That test bed status, the dummy cannon, it prioritized that one massive punch over almost everything else.
And connecting it back, bigger picture, the FAZZ feels like it marks the absolute limit. How much firepower can you cram onto a mobile platform, no matter the cost? It pushed that boundary, even with, like you said, literal holes in its system.
I think its legacy isn't really about its combat record, which was limited. It's about the data.
Proving the concept.
Proving you could sustain and deliver that colossal 79.8 megawatt output from a mobile suit frame. It showed it was feasible, even if this particular execution had flaws.
Which leads us nicely to our final thought, something for you, the listener, to mull over. We know the FAZZ had that unmatched cruiser-level firepower, but we also know it was incomplete. The mock-up cannon, the armor that wasn't quite S Gundam level.
Right.
So how did Task Force Alpha manage that risk? Knowing all this, how did they plan operations for those 3 pilots? Does that potential for massive, decisive damage justify using such an inherently vulnerable, maybe even flawed, machine in the field?
Yeah, what is that unique balance, that tension between immense power and known incompleteness, actually mean when boots, or rather verniers, are on the ground?
Something to chew on.
Definitely. Well, thanks for diving deep with us today into the magnificent paradox that is the full armor double Zeta.
We'll see you next time.